Hello again, everybody. My name is Jeff Sabo, and welcome to this edition of Behind the Cape. Just changing up the scenery just a little bit. I figured I'd just change it up and just kind of do something a little bit different for the summer. In this episode, I'm going to be reviewing The Incredibles 2, and then also Ant-Man and the Wasp, and also some other news going on within the science fiction/entertainment industry. Starting off with The Incredibles 2, ended up seeing it not this past weekend, but the weekend before. My goodness gracious, it is a great sequel. Even if you don't really recall much of what happened in the first one, keep in mind it was 14 years ago. I had a little bit more hair at the time. I was actually a freshman in college, as the first one came out in 2004. Even if you don't really remember much from that one, don't worry. They do make some references there, but if you haven't seen that one or don't remember much, you can still follow what's going on in this second edition, in this sequel of The Incredibles. The characterization is pretty good. The storyline is pretty good. Keep in mind, Mr. Incredible, voiced by the great Craig T. Nelson, has to be a stay-at-home dad, while Mrs. Incredible, Elastigirl, voiced by the great Holly Hunter, has to go out and give the supers a good name once again, as there is a lot of great character development throughout it. They also talk a lot about they also talk a lot about Jack, the little baby in there, and they develop his character a little bit more. So it is overall, it was really a great sequel in the making. I know it was a long time coming, but it's definitely worth seeing. There's definitely a lot of funny humor in it. There is definitely some great ways to take it seriously as well. So it is definitely worth the price of admission. So Disney definitely hit it out of the park with that one. Now, speaking of Disney, we're going to move over to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yes, it is the sequel to the 2015 Ant-Man film, which starred Paul Rudd, Michael Douglas, Evangeline Lilly, and pretty much the cast is pretty much intact for this one. From the 2015 movie. Keep in mind they also introduced the villain as the Ghost, and also some other characters as well. I'm not going to give too much away spoiler-wise, but there's a lot of great humor in this, and with the way that they use the humor as well, also makes it not only an enjoyable movie, but you can still take it seriously also, which that makes a huge difference. You're never sitting there going, okay, this is too silly, this is too stupid. It really is a great film to watch, and it really does. And then keep in mind, you might want to brush up on Captain America Civil War before seeing this one, as they do make a lot of references with a lot of the lines in there. Now, keep in mind, Ant-Man did make an appearance in that film, and they do make a lot of references to that film, so you might want to brush up on that one. But they also do set it up for Avengers 4, which, not going to give too many spoilers on that one, but, looks like we got an ambulance going on in the background, so hold on one second. Yeah, as you can hear the sirens going on in the background, sorry about that. And there we go. Anyway, sorry about that. But anyway, Paul Rudd does a great job as Scott Lang. And then they introduce Janet. They also introduce Janet, who plays Dr. Pym's wife in that one, played by the great Michelle Pfeiffer. And they really do have some interesting storylines with that as well. Now, keep in mind, for those of you who have seen the movie, you're going to want to check out another post called The Nerdist, where there's some theories going around on the internet in regards to how they're eventually going to use this film in Avengers 4. Now, keep in mind, they also did leak some stuff on the internet from that, some photographs of the set right there. So keep in mind, there are some clues as to how this movie is setting up Avengers 4. And then also keep in mind, Ms. Marvel is going to come out in 2019. I think they did have to do some schedule shifting around to accommodate that, as I believe Ms. Marvel was originally supposed to be out this summer. However, they ended up pushing it to, early 2019. Now, switching to some news within the entertainment industry, Disney is saying they are holding off on an Obi-Wan and a Boba Fett solo film that would serve as prequels or with Obi-Wan Kenobi, there was a speculation it would occur between episodes 3 and 4. And this is due to the fact that Solo, a Star Wars movie, really did not do well at all in theaters. It was a great film, however, did not really catch on with audiences. Is keep in mind that there was a lot of bad press that came out about it in regards to changing the directors. I know there was one article that came out in regards to saying that Disney was afraid that it really wasn't going to be very good. So it looked like, and then keep in mind it also opened up Memorial Day weekend, so I think that played a pretty big role in that one as well. So unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing any particular Star Wars films, just involving Obi-Wan Kenobi or Boba Fett in the near future. They did announce that Keri Russell is signed for Episode 9 in an undisclosed role. Keep in mind, Keri Russell, long-standing but good history with Disney, as that cast doesn't really come much as a surprise. In that regards, she has a pretty good relationship with the Disney company, so that makes a huge difference. And then also, it looks like that the Fox and Disney deal, which would include the X-Men characters, looks like it is going to go through as of now. Comcast tried to outbid Disney at one point, but it looks like Disney's willing to outbid them. So it looks like Disney will get the X-Men characters after all. Now, keep in mind, there are supposed to be some X-Men films coming out in 2019. Keep in mind, New Mutants, I believe, is supposed to be released. And then you also have, X-Men. You also have the Dark Phoenix, which, using the cast from Apocalypse, it's going to be taking, another take on the Phoenix saga again. Which, keep in mind, they did that for Last Stand, which I don't think 20th Century Fox was real pleased with how that one came out. But you got to keep in mind, that they had to change the directors at that point. They really kind of had to shift how they were going to do that film after Bryan Singer left to go do Superman Returns. So it will be interesting to see how this all plays out. Personally, I'm thinking they're going to have to probably reboot the X-Men universe just so that they can fit it into the MCU so that it makes sense. Because how in the world can you really, without adding in a multiverse, it's really going to be difficult to add in the two sets of characters that I'd seem awkward, where were you when this happened, where were you when that happened, sort of scenario. So anyway, that is going to be this edition for Behind the Cape. I'm Jeff Sabo, and we'll see you at the movies.